Images and Voices of Hope is an international conversation about generating a new world story.
There's a proverb in Romania that says, stories have wings and they fly from mountaintop to mountaintop.
Every person who creates image should kind of go within and see, does it relates to their conscience, and do they feel responsible for whatever they are creating?
Images and Voices of Hope is a seed of a conversation that has been piloted in New York City with 750 artists and journalists and public affairs and public relations folks to look at the power of images and how they shape our future and our future of possibilities.
What drives this project is the idea that the world needs a new story, that the prevailing story of world as business opportunity, which is kind of the guiding story right now, is not a big enough story for the world.
So many of the image-making mechanisms in our society and images from the media are deficit-based. They're negative. They are based on methods of inquiry that are asking questions about where is it broken, what's wrong, what is the greatest violence. And partly what I see Images and Voices of Hope saying is that there are whole new stories emerging in our communities and in our schools and in our world at large that need to be lifted up.
It is the idea that human beings generate their world in language, that out of the stories we tell, we create a world. So if the prevailing story in a society is that the world is a business opportunity, then what happens is every village is reduced to just a market. And every person is just a consumer of goods or someone in the labor pool. And the earth is just someplace we go get raw materials, right? In other words, it's just a very reduced story. Now, if, on the other hand, you had a story that said the world is a human family, and all of us are basically sisters and brothers, then the fact that a third of the people in Africa may be infected with HIV would be very sad for me. I wouldn't be able to move through my life without feeling concern and taking some action on behalf of those people. It would change the way I acted, because my prevailing story would not be where do they fit in terms of business opportunity, but would be what can I do to make sure that this part of my family is taken care of. And my response to the fact that the earth is being damaged would be, this is the only home this family will ever have. So what can we do to renew this home? What can we do to restore this home? So different actions come out of that fundamental story.
Well, one of my questions is, what is it that gives wings to stories that expand hope and sense of possibility? Stories that are more than just good news stories. What happens if we approach our questions and our inquiry from the perspective that life is a miracle on this planet, a mystery to be entered into? What we found is that we started asking different questions. We started asking questions of the true, the good, the better, and the possible.
Would you please introduce your partner to everybody else? So you will be introducing the person that you got to listen to and interview.
People are motivated from either one end of the pole. You either scare them or you give them hope.
Story well told. Formula for success in any medium.
When people come together in conversation, especially this kind of conversation, the engine for this dialogue is called appreciative inquiry, so it's a very meaningful conversation. And when people come together for this kind of conversation, they get touched deeply and they begin to think differently.
Finger right on it. I think that I do know this garden.
When we are collectively, we are together, then we find that yes, we can do something. But individually, when it comes to one person thinking to make changes, it seems to be difficult to. But in conversation and then afterwards, they have more insight, more courage, and they feel that they can make some changes.
And yes, there are things I can do. Sometimes at the end of a conversation, I will say to people, open your calendars. What's already booked in the next 30 days? You probably have meetings going on in the next 4 weeks where you can influence them in a certain way. Images and Voices of Hope is about writing a new story for the world.
If we want to give wings to new generative stories for the world, we need our appreciative eye. We need to be able to see those small stories that are maybe not shared. Maybe to see the seeds of stories, of the emerging stories that not everybody is aware of.
We only talk of images which we create in an artistic way. What about living images? No? Human being is a living image, so one should be image of love, image of hope, image of courage, image of fearlessness. And that's very important for me, and that's what I will encourage everyone to become a living image.
Images and Voices of Hope is about choosing to do work that gives meaning to people's lives.